Oh,
All
never
right.
mind. Oh, whoa, hello. All right, hello everyone, and welcome back. This is episode number 34, Verdict of the Ancient Kings. You may have heard a glimpse of my co-host Nico early on in there. Sorry for the delays. The Crota family went on a bit of a vacation and was out of the country for a little while. I was actually in Barcelona the day of the attacks, so thanks to all of my friends who reached out on me on Facebook and made sure that I was okay. Anyways, moving straight along, we do have Nico. Nico, how are you doing?
Good crowd. I know it's been a while, but I'm glad you are safe and you had a good vacation. And I think we've all had kind of a good vacation from Hex, just taking a break. It's good to be back and be able to talk about some things.
Yeah, I think, well, for everyone who's watching this through YouTube or watching the stream, even though we have no viewers right now, I would naturally assume that people were caught off guard with Hex Card Clash, the PS4 support. So we'll be talking about that a little bit. We'll be talking about the new money tournament, Hex Bash. It's a new weekly tournament for Constructed. I think I don't remember, was Hex Bash even around when we since our last episode, or was it something that's just been going on for a while now? Ever
No, it
since.
wasn't. I mean, I think our episode last was maybe 5 weeks ago, and Bash came out maybe 3 weeks ago. So, or it was announced about 3 to 2 weeks ago and came out, I don't know, two or 3 weeks ago. Anyway, yeah, no, it was definitely not around when we did our last cast.
Yeah, so I know a lot of people have been partaking in that, having a fully just very, very strong constructed weekly tournament. People get to sink their teeth into, and then a little bit of a something of a surprise. Surprise to some, it's about time for others. Putting Lasgar's Vengeance on the watch list. So, and we'll be hitting up all of those topics. In regards to the puzzles, it doesn't seem like we've been getting that many submissions. If you did enter in a submission for the last puzzle, Nico has given me your contact information. I'll be sending out some goodies, but let us know what you guys are really looking for in terms of puzzles or content, or ways to interact. Or do you just want us to give you stuff for free? We can definitely do that as well. Some sort of raffle, and if that is the case. But let us know. I am sitting on a treasure trove of PVE stuff, mercenaries, sleeves, all that good stuff as well. So yeah, definitely let us know. I guess email Nico. Nico is the one who takes in all the mail. So if you have any ideas, let Nico know. But let's go ahead and just jump right into Hex Card Clash PS4 support. Nico, what are your takes on this? This is something that I've wanted to share with the community for quite some time. I walked into the Hex offices one day, looked up on a board and said, PS4 support, what's that? And then, and as I was saying the sentence, I realized what it was. And I was just like, so I want to get your take.
Well, where did you get that slide?
I got this slide from the official PlayStation website. So
Oh, cool.
if you
Okay.
go to
'Cause I haven't even
PlayStation,
seen
huh?
that. So I feel like you know way more about this than I do. Like I missed the news brief on this before it was removed.
Mm-hmm.
What I mean, all that I know about it is that basically, PS4 is going to have a mode. I
Mm-hmm.
heard that PVE is not going to be launched with it, at least from what I've heard so far,
Mm-hmm.
and that there's going to be some way for people to, play for free and acquire cards. So what I immediately thought is like, how are they going to play for free and acquire cards without PVE? And then I was like, well, are they going more towards like a CCG? Like how is this going to work? So I was kind of in the dark about it, but what I do like about it is that it's bringing Hex to a brand new audience potentially.
Mm-hmm.
So it could increase our player base quite a bit once there's some sort of merger between the clients, if there is a plan for that.
Yeah, so first of all, for all of you guys who don't know, a PS4 support, it is going to be integrated with the PC client. And this is actually a step in the right direction where even Blizzard, when they were making Hearthstone, had said there was concerns about playing from a tablet to playing against someone who's actually on a PC. Hex Entertainment had to go through, I'm assuming, those same hurdles in order to have playing on a PS4, which is much more heavily restricted to playing on a PC. Now, a lot of the talks was, how are people going to be able to earn their cards? What is the auction house going to look like? And why the PS4? From what I've overheard, from what I understand, PlayStation actually, from the rumor mill, actually reached out to Hex because PlayStation didn't have a collectible card game or a card game on their own client. And with that, normally when a console company reaches out to a game developer in order to bring some exclusivity, there is some, I'll say, financial backing in order to do that. So for a lot of people who are saying, why did Hex Entertainment use the money in this direction? It was probably money that was given to them to help make the game better, as long as there was PS4 support. Now, this is only my theory, but from what I know from the gaming industry, I did have some family members in the gaming industry about exclusivity content. I do know that does happen from console producers from time to time. So I don't want to hear the rumor mills saying, wait, why is Hex and wasting money? There is definitely no wasted money in this endeavor. And there's also going to be a lot of quality life improvements that a lot of people have really been waiting for in the PC client.
Yeah, and I mean, one of the things I saw, I mean, Corey Jones on his Friday update, I think it was just last Friday, showed a screenshot of the UI, and that was the first time I've seen the screenshot of the UI for this new card clash, and it looked really clean. And it looked like it had some bells and whistles that we've been missing in terms of like how potentially the UI could help us interface to the auction house, which is it wasn't heavily hinted at, but I can kind of tell that like the UI was leading more towards that based on how I played MTGO and how it's kind of looked. I kind of saw some similarities there. I don't want to say it's as cruddy as MTGO, but there were some things that I saw in that screenshot that made me think, oh, maybe they're going to improve the way that we can quickly trade. And I think they've mentioned that briefly as well. And one of the other things I just want to mention quickly is that the Hex Card Clash. Oh my gosh, I lost my train of thought, so I'll let you talk, but I'll come back to it.
All right. So, one of the biggest discussions was, how are people going to be able to earn gold, and how are they going to be able to get into the card game if there isn't this PVE experience that many of the players out there know and love? And I believe it's going to be through the dueling pits. The dueling pits is a system where people on the PS4 can earn rewards using pre-constructed decks, facing against each other, and then it's a way where people can say, you know what, this deck, I can use this deck. The deck isn't mine, but if I really, really like this deck, I can go ahead and purchase this deck. Is my basic understanding. So you can have a pre-built deck and then eventually buy that deck if you want to expand on that particular deck as well. And then they also have easier access to selling items from their collection, posting to the auction house, or purchasing from the auction house as well. There are some nifty interfaces there as well. The deck builder, the new deck builder, I actually got to see how it works. You're able to filter based off of costs, and everything just seems much more streamlined since you don't have like a mouse and keyboard interface to go ahead and type in cards, that specific card you're looking for. You don't want to be scrolling through thousands of cards as well.
Do you know? Is the auction house going to sync up with our auction house? That's a question. And then once you answer that, I can go back to my other thought.
I do believe it is going to be the same auction house. So players will still be able to purchase through gold or plat. And I think it is going to be the same auction house. I would assume that they wouldn't want separate economies. And everything that I've been reading on the PlayStation site says that it's a fully merged, fully bridged system. And PlayStation was very, very adamant about not allowing cross-platform. And on the website, or on the video on the PlayStation YouTube channel, there it says full cross-platform compatibility. So I would assume that means auction house as well.
Oh, great. Yeah, that'll be nice for the economy, especially players that have been kind of bummed that there's not more people to potentially purchase their products. Hopefully, with that comes some sort of extended time length to auctions, just because of the tediousness nature of being having to post. But who knows what that means for the auction house revamp? I don't know if there is any auction house revamp coming outside of like the UI improvements. The other thing I was thinking about was just your mention about support from PlayStation. If they were the ones that initiated this, yes, most likely there was some kind of financial backing, and maybe even employee backing to creating the improvements. So a lot of these improvements that we're seeing may not have only been financially backed, but it could have created a new job, or it could have been someone potentially from PlayStation that worked on some of the improvements for Hex. Who knows? But either way, if it was initiated by PS4 to kind of create this product that's a hybrid, then it's only good for Hex to have those additional resources to help improve the game.
Yeah, I mean anything that is funneling money into the longevity of the game is better for all of the current players. Your collection value is going to go up, and I've said this multiple times before about Hex. This is the best TCG out there that not enough people are playing, and
Yeah.
once more and more people start to play it more. I mean, right now I have the screenshot of the new interface that PlayStation, that PS4 users will be able to see. I believe it's September 19th is the official release date, and you'll be able to download that from the PlayStation Store. And I'm really looking forward to diving into it. And another big bonus is the fact that anyone who plays on using the PlayStation, if say Neo or Jeff goes ahead and has a PlayStation and plays Hex on the PlayStation, they'll pretty much be on the front page of Twitch, because Twitch, they have like all of those recommended things up top, but there's also like most viewed from PlayStation and from Xbox, and those normally only have like 200 viewers or 150 viewers. Like,
Oh, I didn't know that.
so it might actually bring more exposure if you scroll down a little and said what's the most popular game being streamed on the PS4 right now, and Jeff Hoglund has 250 viewers watching, and as he's playing from a PS4, he's like, oh, what is this? What's this new game? So any exposure, any marketing, anything to get the word out is definitely going to be better.
I just gotta ask you, who built this horrible deck from Corey's screenshot?
What was that?
Who built this horrible deck from Corey's screenshot? Or is it like a popper mode where you can only have commons and a few uncommons?
Well, like, I don't know. This was a screenshot from the PlayStation website. It's not a deck that I would recommend, but this is supposed to showcase the new deck builder, right? Like, hey, I want cards. I want, like, you can see cards, resources, gems, customize. You can see the filter buttons on the top, as opposed to always like you want to avoid typing in a card name whenever you can, when you're on a PS4 or when you're on a console, right? Like,
Yeah.
unless you have a keyboard, it's just painstaking. But if you can say, you know what, I want a 3 cost troop, and you can just filter those things really, really quickly, you'll be able to find your troop that much faster. If you say, I need a 3 cost blood troop, if you happen to know if it's a quick blood troop, more power to you.
So we'll see less people playing Jankbot on the PS4, probably because of the pain it takes to create the deck.
Well, if it does have full compatibility, we'll see if someone can create the jank bot and then on the PlayStation or on the PC, and then move it over and play it on the PS4 and see if you can play it in the dueling pits.
Good point. It also looks like this deck really is almost like fully popper. Like I'm looking at the rarity of the cards in here, and like I only see 2 cards in there that were uncommon. Sorry, you don't have to stay on the slide,
Oh no, no,
but
I just yeah, what the
it's
corrupt
interesting
harvesters?
to me. Yeah, the corrupt harvesters. So I'm wondering if maybe there is some sort of popper mode.
Hmm. Well, I don't know why he's playing Pauper. This what Sleepy Hex has 9,998,600 plat. He could
He's saving.
probably
He's saving for a rainy day.
he's saving for a rainy day. All right.
Or we don't know all the details of the dueling pits, but maybe there are some limitations in terms of maybe you can customize your deck a bit, but maybe the rarity is a limitation.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we don't know. Maybe the dueling pits is just exactly that, and then they'll start branching out into the ladder and things of that nature. And so yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. It looks like account leveling is built into the PS4 version as well. So you
Yeah.
can see that the Sleepy Hex is currently account level 2, which means that players on the PS4 will have the opportunity to play Evos and play draft gauntlets as well. So yeah. If you're looking for some
Nice.
noobs to stomp, if you think that, like, I always run up against a cosmic player every single time I do a draft, well, maybe we'll get some fresh blood in the mix, and you can feel a little bit better about yourself.
Maybe we'll be a little confused when they unlock single air from account levels.
Yeah, like I'm not quite sure how that's gonna work when you start getting PVE cards. Can you do Frost Ring? I didn't hear about Frost Ring Arena.
And maybe that's a long term goal. We'll see.
Yeah, so many questions, not enough answers. Let's move right along to the Hex Bash. Hex Bash is something that we did talk about. Beautiful new cosmetic battle board right there, and it looks absolutely amazing. And I also have, unfortunately, the top 8 of the latest Hex Bash, and Ruby seems to want to be in the top 8 very, very heavily. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, we already kind of teed it up that we're going to talk about Lasgar's Vengeance, but it has a lot to do with that card. Just it's quick troops with speed. The whole Redlings deck that's just it's crazy how consistent it can be with so many different cards. Just troops with speed, ability to attack right away. Then having a card like Lasgar's Vengeance that can hit the table for like 3, 2, or even less resources, even turns where you can play 2 in a single turn, not only wiping your opponent's board, but also dealing damage to their face, is a ridiculously strong single-sided ability. So I'm sure that plays a large role. There are a few new cards that are incredibly good too, like the new Feral Cackler, I believe is its name. It's a 2-cost speed troop with 2 ruby threshold requirement that when it comes into play, it has speed. It can exhaust itself to give another target troop +3 attack this turn without having to pay. Usually it's a 3-cost ability to give another troop 3 attack. And then if you put that on something like a Righteous Outlaw, your Righteous Outlaw after it's transformed, you can give your Righteous Outlaw an additional 3 attack to basically kill something on swing
Mm-hmm.
and deal that additional damage to the champion's face as well. It's just a ton of damage and a very low amount of resource commitment for the kind of combos you can do with it.
All right. So, what do you any thoughts on why they're actually putting this on the watch list? I mean, okay. Here's my thoughts on why they're putting it on the watch list, as opposed to some of the more other powerful decks that were in the past. I think Might Singer, Howling Brave, and Chlorophylla was probably equally as consistent, equally as strong in terms, and equally as dominant in terms of the meta. Like, you either played the Howling Brave, Chlorophylla, Might Singer deck, or you played a deck specifically to get around that particular deck. And I think one of the main reasons why we're actually seeing Lasgar's on the watch list is Lasgar's is still at least 4, if not 6 months out from actually being rotated out. When Might Singer had hit the table earlier, I would say earlier this year, Chlorophylla and Howling Brave were already potentially going to be rotated out, since they were set 1, set 2. Now, does the presence of Lasgar's Vengeance limit the amount of powerful decks that are currently out there? It's not broken in terms of everyone is playing it, but it does make it difficult to make another deck that doesn't have Lasgar's Vengeance or can't deal with the sheer efficiency of Lasgar Vengeance with those Redlings or any type of Ruby speed troops.
Yeah, I think it has more to do with the efficiency of the combination. The card itself, like it's just sometimes it seems a little over tweaked. I know people don't really like that terminology, but like if it only did 4 damage AoE to opposing troops, or if it only did 4 damage to an opposing champion, then it would probably be fine. But then it probably wouldn't see as much play.
Mm-hmm.
It's the fact that it does both, and it gets the cost reduction permanently that makes it such a huge threat. And there's plenty of troops that can power it up. So I think, yes, there are cards that can deal with it, but are there enough cards that can both deal with all of the speed troop threats and then deal with the AoE board wipe and damage to the face after it deals with all those threats? It's representing too much.
Mm-hmm. I think just too much value. It's a one-sided board sweep because we are talking about 4 damage, and generally it is being played on turns 3, 4, and 5. I would normally say that seems to be the standard pace that the Redlings that can efficiently play it. And because of that, it's basically a one-sided extinction at that point, where your opponent's troops are generally not going to have enough defense to be able to withstand 4 damage at that point.
And the scariest thing is really when they're representing double Lasgars in their hand, and then you have to, as the opposing player, you have to figure out, okay, am I countering 1 Lasgars right now, or am I countering 2? And can I even counter 1? It's like you have to figure all that out in your head. And if you're playing a deck that's just a little bit slower, do you even have a troop in play that can sustain the first one if you don't have a counter for it?
Yeah, so all important questions, all problems that we have to be on the lookout for. But I do like the fact that they did mention it. I mean, basically putting out an article saying that this is on the watch list, not just so that people can actually have a civil discussion about it. I mean, I don't think there is a card that is so divisive in the Hex community besides Lasgar's Vengeance. I mean, there's the Lasgar's Hater Club. There's people who say if you don't like Lasgar's Vengeance, then you're just a big crybaby. There's other people who people who just argue back and forth. I don't know if they like arguing, but let's have an open, honest discussion and exchange points and discuss whether or not Lasgar's Vengeance. Let's not talk about whether it's broken, but we can talk about whether or not it's healthy for the card meta that is currently out there.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I actually don't dislike the card myself. I have fun playing it.
Mm-hmm.
I do know it is challenging to play against.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I mean, my feeling on it is, the real culprit is when a player can represent double Lasgars and they actually have it.
Mm-hmm.
How do you win the game from that point, especially when you don't have the same level of aggressive deck that they have? But what I've seen a few people try to build up against it, and I can't even remember if this is still in rotation, but like Master Moss, is that still? That's only Immortal, right? I don't think you can play that in Constructed anymore.
Yeah, I think that Master Moss is Shattered Destiny.
Yeah. So that's only Immortal, but there's not. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of great ways to play around it from the other colors. But then again, I mean, I can't speak to it a lot myself because I'm not very ingrained in the Constructed meta right now. So it's hard for me to have a competitive voice in this realm outside of what I hear from other people in our guild and other people I talk to that are very competitive.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's pretty much all we had for now. I'm sure that we will be able to talk about new stuff in the coming weeks. It seems like people or Hex is teasing something big for PvE that isn't Chapter 3. So I'm not exactly sure what that is. I'm sure inquiring minds want to know in terms of what is around the corner. I do know that if they do stick to their standard cycle, spoiler season is probably going to start sometime in early was it early October is when we'll start to hear the at least some of the background story about what is happening. For those of you guys who are interested in the lore, what actually happened when Lixel went up against Hogarth, and what is happening in this battle right here and now, and what is going on. Is Lixel going to become a powerful, like, why is she, well, we do know that Lixel's trying to become a super necrotic, right?
Yeah.
So she's trying to become a super sapphire necrotic, and whether or not she's successful in doing so, or is Hogarth going to win? Is that revealed in this set, or is that going to be the next set?
I think it's going to be the next set based on what I know so far about Frostheart. Um, I think so. You mentioned October, yeah. So I think late October, based on the release of Set 7, is probably when Set 8 is set to release. I'm wondering if that PvE content is going to be released with that next set, because we haven't heard anything yet about anything new for PvE. But they did heavily hint at strongholds this year, so I wonder if we're going to hear more about that.
Yeah, and like sometimes I try to tease things without getting myself into trouble. Right now, I am flying as blind as the rest of the community, so I can make assumptions without really getting myself in trouble because I really don't know all that much. But once again, I gotta say thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for listening. Nico, do you have any closing words that you want to sign off on?
Just yeah, sure. I'll say a few things. I'm sorry that we've been gone for a while, but we do need to take breaks as well. There's a lot to do in Hex now. I hope you guys are enjoying the time, and I think that for anyone that's a little guarded about the PS4 launch, you should probably just be more optimistic about it than pessimistic, because it's going to be bringing new players into the game, and once they get all the pieces in place, if it is cross-platform, as Creta mentioned, it's just going to be better for everyone that has been playing Hex. So I just hope everyone can look forward to that. And this, by the end of this year, I think Hex is going to have another one or two things in it that will surprise people, and not even knowing what those things will be. I'm looking forward to it, even though I know it's harder for me to have the free time to enjoy it. It's cool to see the game is finally coming along to the point where it's kind of where it was when I envisioned it during the Kickstarter.
Yeah, I mean, Corey had high hopes and high dreams for the game, and it's great to see someone just have that much passion. But the people around him were like, okay, this is what we can actually do with the current technology that we have, and I do believe that at some point tablet support will happen, because tablets will actually be strong enough to be able to run Hex. The amount of art that is in the game would pretty much boggle down any current tablet that is out there. So tablet support is coming. Hopefully you have like extended memory expansion slots. Maybe Apple will finally get with the program, but it will happen. It's a matter of the technology catching up with the dream and vision that is Corey Jones.
Yeah, that's something I forgot to mention about the PS4 launches. It seems like it is kind of making way for potentially that next leap to tablet. So that'll be super nice. And just to drop this in there, I know it's not Hex related, but I think Crota, myself, and a lot of other people in our guild have been enjoying Fortnite, which also has heavy RNG collection aspects to it. So if you guys have not checked it out and you're looking for something else to kind of sink your teeth into with extra free time, check it out. It's a pretty fun little game.
Yeah, it's like tower defense mixed with Minecraft, mixed with Call of Duty zombies, all in one, with collection of Destiny, like where you're collecting weapons, and then the upgrades of I don't even know how to explain it. Trying to watch it, I can't even imagine what a tutorial video for that game would look like yet. But yeah,
Yeah, it's a little crazy, but basically, if you've ever played Orcs Must Die or Dungeon Defenders, and you like those type of games, you'll probably love this.
all right. Well, from everyone here at Cornerstone, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.
See you next time.